Hello, everyone. Today I am honored and excited to be interviewing Mr. Fred Davis, who I met almost 9 years ago. No, almost 8 years ago. And it's crazy that much time has gone by. But I've been very impressed by Mr. Fred because he has a long history of a successful entrepreneurial career. He's been a real estate investor, and he's married to beautiful Becky, who is a nurse. And, I would just really like to take a moment for you to introduce yourself to our audience and share kind of how in the world we became connected. Because obviously, because if you had never heard about NRF2 activation or biohacking or nutrigenomics, I certainly wouldn't have. And because you were able to kind of figure out this was something worth taking a look at, thousands and thousands of lives have been blessed. So I would love just to kind of hear how you found out about this, first of all, and then we'll dive a little deeper. So take it away.
All right, thanks, Sean. There's nothing I love to talk about more. And you're right. Had I not found out, you wouldn't have maybe found out. I was a real estate developer for most of my life. That's the way we earned our living. It was very profitable, exciting, creative, sometimes. But as you know, if you know anything about real estate, it is very much of a cycle. So we had great years followed by maybe not so good years. So anyway, I was looking for something. I was looking for two things. One, I was looking for something because I was on a health quest. Years ago, 15 years ago or more, I had had open heart surgery, and the surgeon said, these grafts will stop up again. We'll probably do this again in 12 or so years, which was not acceptable. So if you know anyone who's ever done that, they don't want to do it again. So I was looking. So I made a lot of discoveries of things that I should be doing, and I changed those, and I'm much healthier. The biggest find, though, was NRF2 activation, because I discovered all of a sudden, and this was in January of 2011, I found out that you can, in fact, be proactive about how your body accepts aging and diseasing. So that was the discovery for me. I ordered the product. That was I ordered one for Becky too, even though she's very healthy and younger. She's 2 or 3 years younger. She would want me to say that. I ordered a bottle for each of us. You know that at those prices 9 years ago, I spent $80, $40 for each of us. Then I told some friends of mine what I was doing, that I was trying to check this out. If it really worked, I certainly needed it, blah, blah, blah. So what has happened since then, I won't get into all the details, except that here we are almost 9 years later, and believe it or not, I look better. You may not know that, but I look younger, I feel younger, and I have no evidence of any kind of heart disease. So,
wow,
I'm excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. And I can definitely relate to not wanting to have your chest cracked open again. So
yeah,
you want to be as healthy as possible, and nothing we're talking about, obviously, is diagnosing, treating, preventing, or mitigating any disease. It's just optimizing health. And I'm so glad that you discovered, this whole thing about activating your own body. So what about it made you want to dig deeper and maybe tell others about it? I mean, I know obviously you were on a personal health quest. You had your reasons for wanting to be healthier, and obviously wanted to help your wife be healthier. But why did you feel compelled to tell people about it?
Well, I didn't have to have a lot of belief in the very beginning to place that order, because, as I said, it was not a big financial commitment. But I was fascinated by the health claim. The health claim was that it slows the rate of aging. And I'm a skeptic, and I didn't see how they could get away with making that claim. I remember thinking, I wish they'd said it helps 60% or it helps 50% of the people. That would have been plenty. But so I was a little curious. I wanted to be sure that it was real. Even though it was only $80, I did not want to waste $80. So in the 3 or so days that I was waiting, 4 days I was waiting for that box to come, I went to the National Institutes of Health website. My wife, as you mentioned, is a nurse. She knew how to do that. She was very skeptical too. She said, look, we see 40 to 50 patients a day and we've never heard of that. So skepticism is the answer to your question. I wanted to make sure that one of my doctor friends wouldn't 6 months down the road laugh in my face and say, you got to be kidding, really? Slow aging? And so I wanted to be sure before I mentioned it to anyone. And what I found out is that, like true science, it either works or it doesn't. So the issue about saying 100% or 80% or 50% was moot. It either works or it doesn't. Found out it works. So about 3 or 4 days, even before my box came, I made the flip from knowing I needed it personally for my health to thinking, if this is true, somebody's going to get rich. And if it's true, everyone's going to do basically what Becky and I just did, which is we ordered it. So I started calling people and I said, look, if this is true, it's going to be huge. Do what we're doing, get some of it and let's see. And that really, you only need to know that what you're saying is true. You don't need to be a doctor. Fortunately, we found Sean McKee. We found the medical expert, but you don't have to be a doctor if you know where to find the peer-reviewed science.
Absolutely. I love that. And I actually found out about it from my doctor. It's so funny because somebody that you told was working on the landscape pavers for my doctor's office. And so midway between the time I went to see my doctor because I was tired and the time I went for my follow-up, she told me she had found out about it. And that's when she told me that, you know, there were peer-reviewed published studies done by major medical schools. I was like, wow, that's, you know, that's important. That's really, really cool. So that's how I found out about it. But what I love is something you said about you not only look younger, you feel younger.
Yeah.
And I just have to say to everyone, I saw this man sprint from a dead standstill. I think it was after lunch, racing a friend of mine in, where were we?
Puerto
Vallarta? Or
where were
Bahamas?
we?
It might have been in Bahamas.
We were in some island somewhere. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that. She was about 40 years younger, and so she kind of was laughing at me. She was 45 years younger.
I thought you were going to have A, a heart attack, or B, trip and fall on your face, but you did none of those things, and you beat her. So there's something about this activation. I think it works.
Yeah.
And I love that we can share. So, so tell me this. You know, you mentioned somebody's going to be rich now. This is something that is not a get rich thing, but my husband and I used to say when we did triathlons and we lived in Florida, there was a doctor who's an ophthalmologist who actually got a licensing agreement for every Timex Ironman watch sold in the world. We heard he got $1. I don't know. He might've gotten $5. He might've gotten 50 cents, but we looked at each other and said, that is genius. Can you imagine getting $1 for every Timex Ironman watch that sells anywhere in the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you
It's
have.
a referral concept, and it works, and it's not much money. So you don't get the sense that you're making money off of your friends or your connections. You're getting a little 5% referral from the manufacturer, and you're not selling to your friends, you're referring them to the product. And so we knew about that sort of marketing because there had been a recession back in the late 80s that dates me. And my real estate development business stopped at that time or slowed down. And so I remember learning about the referral marketing concept. So what we did, by then it was February of 11, we called some friends, they came over, we said, look at this. And we showed them an ABC News broadcast that had been on primetime one evening back in 2005. So it was old at that time. And we said, if you believe this, or if you think this might be true. This is something we're going to find out about. And nobody invested a lot of money, as you know. But what we did do is we bought some of the products. We bought extra of the products at that time. We initially had only bought what we needed for 1 month. That's key. The people who have created the wealth or the security, if you want to use a more conservative word, for us, 83% of them are just buying 1 bottle a month for them and their family members. So nobody is spending a fortune. And what happened, and that's been, I don't know how many months, it's been almost 9 years, but those people then told their loved ones about it. Everybody said, well, if that's true, I need it. And what has happened since then is a geometric progression, which is not a concept in math that most people are familiar with, but it's the way that 1 becomes 2 and then doubles to 4, and the doubling, in other words, people telling people and other people buying the same product from the same company, has created, I don't even know how many tens of thousands of customers who came to this product and this company subsequent to me and Becky. And you and John are, of course, in that group. And we get a little, roughly 5% of each bottle that is sent out each month. So what has happened over the years is that we have become financially secure. We don't have 15 or 20 million in the bank, but we have the kind of income that if it were compared to a certificate of deposit income for someone who had 15 or 20 million in the bank, we have a number that exceeds that. So what we have is security and we have stability. Our check is consistent. It comes on the 15th. It pays for everything plus. And I've always wanted to use the word philanthropist. I've always wanted to be financially secure, and I've wanted to have an income that was independent from what I have to do today. So, as a doctor, and those of you who are listening to this know that if you do your job well every day, you will be reimbursed. But what if you get to the point, whether it's your age or your health, where you really don't want to or can't go to work? If you have just an activity income, it stops when your activity stops. So what we have is an asset income. And the asset we have is that connection we have with this company and the agreement we have with the company to reward us.
I guess that the term for that is leveraged income.
Yeah.
Because, you get a tiny little piece, a few cents or $1 on every product that's sold anywhere in the world because of somebody who found out about it because you first told someone about it. And I love that. I remember somebody once said to me when they were talking about this concept, they said, look, you're a neuroradiologist. When you read an MRI, Blue Cross Blue Shield sends you a check. But when you don't read an MRI, they don't send you a check. And I thought, that's a problem. If you want to take time off to be with your family, not only do you have no income coming in, you still have your overhead and you got to pay someone to do the work in your place. It's just not as that freeing of a concept of leveraged income. And I love that, we would tell people about this anyway. If they didn't pay us, don't tell them that, but they do. And that's what's so exciting because the lives change. And, we can be, what are you, 59 and running and beating a 39-year-old?
I'm gonna go with either one of those.
We'll put a couple of standard deviations on either side of both of those numbers. But I'm so glad that you were open enough. Obviously, I'm glad you were skeptical and looked at the science and felt that you could stand strongly on that. But I'm so glad that you did, because if you hadn't spoken to the person who spoke to my doctor, she wouldn't have told me about it. And, we've got, like I said, thousands of lives that are enhanced dramatically. And you do look great. You do look great.
Well, I look better. As bad as it was, I look better. And we are grateful for the fact that we did whatever we did that led us to you and John, because not only has it been a good financial business relationship, but as you mentioned earlier, we go to islands, we've been to Maui a couple of, this company sends us where we have fun. And they're sending us, I think it's in December, to Marco Island. I've never been there. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great.
I'm
So
looking
it's a,
forward to that.
yeah, it's a great lifestyle. And I'll tell you, another thing that extends your life is not being stressed about finances. We don't have a financial concern in the world. And as a real estate developer, I had no idea what financial stress I was under. I was routinely signing notes for millions of dollars with the idea that maybe somebody would buy this stuff we were developing and possibly I could pay the bank back. But there was so much stress there. And I don't have any of that. I don't owe anybody.
You and I have that in common. My husband and I have are real estate investors and have a little bit of developing. And you're right, it's stressful when, you know,
Yeah.
a roof blows up because somebody was trying to hijack gas, you know, a tenant was trying to steal gas from the gas company and their roof blows off and
Yeah.
things like that happen. It's kind of shocking. So it's we're still in that, and we're hopefully, you know, going to be transitioning out of that. But you know, it's just it's a lovely way to make a little extra income on the side, feeling better every day and helping others feel better every day. And that feels really good.
2 tips that I would say. I want to be sure to let people know you don't quit what you're doing to do this. You and John haven't. I didn't. As you mentioned, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You keep doing what you're doing because that's important. And you add this to it. And then there is a point. For us, it was about, you know, 1.5 years, 2 years down the road that Becky was able to retire from nursing. And then I was able to no longer invest in developments. And, but, you know, even if it had taken 5 years, you don't quit what you're doing. You add this to it. And the other thing that I will say is a little bittersweet comment in that, well, we have watched a lot of people go down in flames financially because of COVID. And I want to respectfully say our business is focused on your personal health. And your personal health has never been more important, thanks to the press. Your personal health has never been on your mind more than it has been in the last 6 months. So our business, as a result, even though we didn't go anywhere, we didn't, you know, work much, our income has increased. And who can say that, really, other than people who are in the business of health?
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, I always say, I used to say that being a neuroradiologist was the best job in the world, but, you know, truly being in the business of helping people improve and enhance their physical, mental, and financial well-being is so gratifying. And especially today, I mean, all of a sudden, you know, people are paying attention to, you know, healthy immune system and health. And I love that. But, you know, the best time to start was, you know, 10 years ago. Next best time is now. So, thank you so much for taking the time to bless us with your story of how you found out about it and why you're open to telling others and what it's done for you.
Well, so, thanks for having me.
Well, you are welcome. Please give my regards to Becky, and we will see you in Marco Island in a couple of months.
Tell John hello. Thanks.
Right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.